You're watching Bloodstock TV, and I am very excited to introduce you to Lena of Infected Brain. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
So lovely to have you. And welcome to Bloodstock, your first time at Bloodstock.
Hell yeah. I was looking forward to this.
This was one of those festivals that you're like, I gotta just cross this off. This off. Right, this year saw the release of album number 6 with Time. You have said that this is it's a deeply personal album for you. I mean, all music is, but this in particular was deeply personal. Were you apprehensive about the stuff you were writing? Were there moments where you were sort of saying, oh, I don't know if I want to say too much or too little? Obviously it's personal and it's subjective the way people understand music, but you know, I wouldn't be able to write something personal. That's just me. But I mean, how did you come to that confidence, I suppose?
That's a very good question. So I think that this is very selfish in a way, and I'm not a very selfish person, but this is probably the biggest thing I ever do for myself. When I discovered music for myself way before I became a musician, I knew that I need it in my life. I knew that it either brings up emotions or it helps you like get rid of some emotions, you know? And when I started with Infected Rain and slowly I started listening to more music and creating more music and all these years after that, honestly, for me is a therapy. I need it. I cannot not make it personal. It's a must for me. No matter what I talk about, it can be a very global theme. It can be a very personal theme that I've been through, like something specific that I've been through. I need this, what does it call it? Like a channel where to like push everything towards that way. And this is what it is for me. And when creating Time, I didn't have anything specific in plan when it comes to, what exactly of my personal life do I want to talk about?
Yeah.
I go based with how I feel in that moment, because we are a completely different person today than we were yesterday, than we are going to be tomorrow. So some of the things that I write down throughout every day of my life, I just put ideas down. Sometimes when I go back to that specific, I don't know, even one phrase or like a little poem that I put together, sometimes I know that it's not its time yet. But other times I'm like, oh, it's still here. I know exactly what I felt when I wrote it down, and I still feel it, so I need to do something about it. And it helps me a lot, and I really hope that people don't feel alone in this world, and they can relate, and they can have some sort of reminder that we are all human beings, and it's okay not to be okay. It's okay to cry. It's okay to appear more vulnerable than we are maybe comfortable, like sometimes appearing. You know, we are so used to this strong examples in social media of perfectly looking people, happily looking people.
It's not real, though. It's not entirely real. Yeah.
Exactly. So I don't really necessarily plan them in a certain way. I just go for it.
Yeah.
And I try to be in the moment. It's sometimes it's heavier than other times, but I try to just be myself.
But like, I mean, you are, you know, in the public eye, you know, and I think that's really hard when you're, as you said, we were different people to yesterday and we will be tomorrow, and you're learning as you go along, you're learning this industry and everything that you're doing. And obviously there are people out there that are saying things online, be it good, bad, indifferent. And it, you know, it is really difficult to be in that public position where you're learning along the way publicly. And, you know,
it's not easy, for sure.
No, it's not.
You have to sometimes stop yourself from let's say, sharing specific things for your own sake. because there are so many opinions, especially when we talk about big themes like politics, like the insanity, the wars that are happening right now, and you know the I don't know, religion, family. There are big themes out there that we need to talk about. But as soon as you dare to, they're gonna eat you alive. So I definitely had to find certain rules for my own sake and the band's sake that I just try not to talk about. That's it.
And that's the right way to do. Just concentrating on your music and positive stuff.
I am an artist. I'm not a politician, and I'm not, you know, a religious person, and I can't know enough to even have a decent conversation about it. And unfortunately, majority of people don't know enough to do that.
That's very true. But they think
they still do.
Yeah. Speaking of the music, so Alice now is in the band. She's the new bass player. How has her integration into the band been? Has it influenced, a new kind of ingredient, so to speak, with the energy in the music? Or
I wouldn't say that something specifically changed when it comes to music, because we were already in the middle of recording this album, so we didn't really have a lot of input from her. She did record the majority of her bass parts, though. But when it comes to the energy in the band, on tour, during the working process, I definitely feel some sort of a balance right now, because we are like, the metal version of ABBA right now. 2 women, 2 men. And I feel that maybe maturity as well, because we've been together for more than 16 years as a band.
Oh my goodness.
So I feel like also, with years passing, everybody in a way learns about each other, and there is some sort of understanding from the female part of the band towards the male part of the band, and vice versa. And that feels great, because it takes such a big heaviness away that, believe it or not, was present before, for many reasons. I'm not saying that people that were in our band before are bad or anything. No, but certain balance now is present, and it wasn't before. And I love that. Everybody loves that. And I hope that we can preserve this balance. And yeah.
Okay. And talking about touring, so I mean, you guys have been relentless since June of this year, if I'm correct. I mean, it's just been non-stop, and you're going to have a short break before you head off to Australia with Cradle of Filth, and that just got me thinking about the diversity of bands that you tour with. And it's great not to be just stuck in the same kind of lane with the same genre. And do you find it really exciting when you jump off kind of one tour and then you have a little break and then you're going out on something completely different?
I'm very excited, because this is going to be definitely very unique, because we are actually working on having a Asia tour right after, and after a Latin American tour, which we already announced. So we are basically working on this between Australia and Latin America, the gap to go to Asia. And we didn't announce it yet, only because we're still working on all the paperwork. It's not that easy specifically for, citizens of Moldova. But we are working very, very hard, and it's going to be very challenging. In general, this year, I feel like there's a lot of first times. First time in and first time in Australia, first time in Asia, first time in Latin America. And so far the sales are fantastic and the feedback is fantastic.
That's so exciting though.
I am
so exciting.
I am very, very looking forward for it.
It's like, that expression, living the dream. I mean, it is living the dream.
It is.
You're creative, you're traveling the world, you're meeting new people.
It is, but I will be honest with you, nothing comes without a very, very heavy toll that we all have to pay. And when I say that, I just want to remind people that, yes, it sounds fantastic and it's so exciting. And it's like, oh, you're living the dream. You travel the world, you meet new people, you play shows. I wish it was just that. Unfortunately, it comes with a lot more, and I'm not complaining. I just want to be real with people, because I feel like there's some sort of people romanticize bands that go on tour, and it's great, it's fantastic, but let's not forget that I haven't slept in my own bed in 4 months. I miss it. And I'm going to be home only for 3 weeks, and then I'll go again. I miss my bed. I miss my my house, my own homemade coffee. And yeah, I miss my friends, of course.
Is it weird to climatize when you come off tour? How long does it take you to kind of just be, I'm going to get up and have breakfast? And
I mean, I get back into my routine quite right away, but actually understanding that you're home, you need at least like a month.
Right.
And sometimes you don't have a month home.
Well, you don't this time.
I will just bring you one example. The other day, Alice told me, I wanted to share something with you. Even though I've been with you only like a little bit, a year and a half, I believe it's now, because she joined us. We announced it in May last year, but she joined a couple of months before to work on the album and everything. So she told me, with all this touring, I'm noticing that I'm in a way losing friends. And I told her, I know it's very sad, but remember, you're not losing them. They just take for granted that you're always gone. And they still love you, I'm sure. They still miss you. But yeah, you're going to see less the people you care for, including your family, which sometimes is really painful because certain things happen while you're on tour and you're like, should I take a plane and cancel shows because my mom just got in a car accident and I don't know what's going on? Or should I wait a second and make sure that, I'm needed there? Granted, I have my sisters close to my mother, so they can take care of her if something is needed, like in that specific moment. But it's scary, Our parents get older. We get older too,
you're missing out on certain things.
A little bit.
But that's the gamble.
Exactly. And I'm sure it's like that with every single job out there. It's just the different part, side of the coin that people sometimes don't think about. And I feel like as soon as you start thinking about that as well, you appreciate the music and the effort that musicians do even more. I know I did when I became a musician, and all the bands that I absolutely love, and the touring that they do and the shows that they put on, the time on stage and the heat, the cold. You never think about these things, but they influence you as a person.
Yeah, of course.
And we are not made out of steel. I wish.
Well, look, just to finish off you've mentioned quite a lot there about plans going ahead. In terms of brand new music, do you have ideas? Are you
Hell
writing?
yeah.
Are there any other things, actual songs put together at this point?
Yes.
And if so, how many?
Well, I don't know
is it just a scattering of all
for now it is. I'm not sure if we are going to start recording and putting all the ideas together right away next year, like around January, because we also have 2 tours that we announced in Europe right away, February and March. And I don't know if we are going to at least try to put them together and then go in the recording studio, but we definitely are planning to record a new album next year.
So recording next year, possibly
releasing in 2026. So there will be
naturally singles and stuff like that.
Yes, we're always trying to, because, it's very nice to keep people always excited. For example, there is a music video for a song from the album Time that is in making. It's already filmed. It's just in editing process, and it will come out. We are planning to bring it out like right before all these new countries that we are going for.
So just to something promo too.
So, but we always try to, because we have a really talented guy in the band, our guitar player Vidic. He is very, very passionate about visuals as well, and he is the director and editor of our music videos.
Oh, very good.
He is very talented. I'm very proud to have such a talented person in the band, and he has ideas all the time. He writes them down so we cannot always come back to it. So I'm sure there's going to be singles and music videos right away and stuff like that.
Excellent. Well, look, we'll keep an eye out for it, and anybody watching this, just keep an eye out on all your socials and whatnot. And if you are down in Australia, you're in for a hell of a good time with Cradle of Filth.
I am so excited.
Rain, so that's going to be awesome. And congratulations on all of this, these wonderful things that are happening to you.
Thank you.
It's so well deserved, and
you.
I know the work you put into this is huge.
Thank you so much.
We wish you the best of luck. And just once again, thank you so much for being here at Bloodstock and taking the time out to sit down with us today.
Of course, it was my pleasure. Thank you for the
you.
interesting questions.
No worries at all. Thank you. Thank you so much, Lena.